sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service at this time.
I just choked down chocolate chip cookies and Grandpa's femur. Femur.
We make money now?
No, we had to pay
So
them.
this episode, it's just too slippery. I'm slicing everything.
Every time I swing my 5-iron, it goes up that guy's ass.
Welcome to the Sad Dads Club podcast. Here's your host, Jim and Foo.
But that's such a small runway. Yeah, it's a lot of movement. Just back and forward, like oscillating. Just yeah. But I can get it to shine, and you're going to help me. Well, you're taint. What? This is the worst porno ever. That reminds me, I saw this thing.
Polishing Ryan's privates.
Yeah. Gleaming the taint. I saw this thing. It was a clip of Kevin Nealon from way back, and he was doing a bit about being asked to review adult films.
Oh no!
He's like, so they sent me these films. He's like, so I put the thing in, and he's like, so I'm trying to be objective about it or to some effect, and he's like. And so I was interested, and I was interested, and I was a little bit more interested, and I was very interested, and I was very, very interested, and then not so interested anymore. Yeah. And he's like, and then the next night, I put the other one in, and so I'm watching it, and I was interested, and then I was a little bit more interested, and then I was interested, then I was very interested. And then, not so interested.
I piqued my interest.
Yeah, I was not so interested. When I left, I went into the kitchen. I made a sandwich, and I had a glass of wine. And I came back in the living room, and it was still playing. And I was like, weird. And so I got interested. I got a little bit more interested. Then I got very interested, and then. I wasn't interested anymore.
No more interest.
Like then the third movie.
Oh shit!
He's like, it was. I can't remember. It was a gay.
Oh no!
Gay porn. He's like, I wasn't interested at all. I was disgusted, and I just wasn't interested. But I kept watching, and then I got a little bit interested.
Oh no!
I got a lot interested. I got very interested, and then I wasn't interested anymore. And then I got confused. And then I started questioning myself. And then I got interested again.
Oh, no. That's pretty funny.
Anyway.
Kevin Nealon.
Yes. The greatness of Kevin Nealon.
It's
anyway.
funny.
Hey, we've been recording.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
All right. Welcome, everybody,
to Sad Dads Club podcast.
61.
Episode 61.
61, if I remember correctly. Because you know what? Anything after last week's show, between then and now, blur.
Yeah.
Don't remember.
Really?
Well, I mean...
as far as tasks or the show?
The show, yeah.
Yeah.
What number? I don't know. I have to look it up.
We don't count the half shows.
We have half shows?
Yeah, I don't...
Was there something you need to tell me? Damn.
Yeah, it was really good. I was somewhat interested. I was a little bit interested.
I've been cheating on you with another host, Jim.
Then we had a great show.
Oh, man.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so it was, 61.
Yeah.
I had to look.
Yeah? I mean, that one I actually knew.
Oh.
61.
Why did you know that?
Because I just created the new file and it saw so it was 60.
Oh, okay.
If I pay attention to making a new one, then.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, I hope everybody had a good weekend. I had a okay weekend up until quarter way through.
Yeah.
And then after that, it was all downhill.
Really?
Yeah. Because you know what happened? Garage cleaning
I don't.
Yeah, garage.
I mean, I knew you were cleaning the garage.
Well,
so wait. Before we get to the meat of your story, why were you cleaning the garage?
Here's what happened.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, unbeknownst to me at all,
right.
Not even an inkling, my wife, she says out of somewhere in the morning time, oh, Chandler got up and left this morning early, like 7 or 7:30. Mm-hmm. I'm all, oh, okay. Then I'm thinking about it. Well, what's he doing? She's like, oh. Well, first she didn't even say. I just asked her, what's she doing? She just ignores me.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay. And I go, are you not going to tell me what he's doing? She goes, well, you get kind of weird about stuff sometimes. And I'm like,
uh-oh.
What?
Something is amiss.
And now I'm like going, what is going on?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
right.
And I'm just like, okay, fine. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not going to press her anymore. It's just whatever.
This needs to be donuts,
and I'm
going to start getting pissed.
I kind of got a little upset about that.
Yeah.
So then, I don't know. We'd gotten ready, and our plan was to go get some lunch and run some errands. And
okay.
Right before we were getting ready to leave for lunch, Chandler shows up, but he's not alone. He's with a couple dudes. One dude is his is it still his girlfriend? His girlfriend's dad, Steve, and his girlfriend's sister's boyfriend.
Okay.
And I come out and I'm like, what is happening? Right? And I kind of closed. I just went back in the house. I was like, I don't know what the fuck is going on.
Okay.
And then Chandler's like, Dad, come out here. And I'm just like, what is happening? So
all right.
I go out in the garage and I walk around my car to the other side where Shanna's car has been pulled out. And I'm just thinking, what is happening?
Someone hit. Okay. Okay.
And there's these cabinets sitting in my garage.
Okay.
Like nice cabinets.
All right.
And I'm like, with fucking black granite countertops and everything.
Okay.
Okay. And he's like, check it out. Look what I got for the garage. I'm just like, okay, like where is that shit gonna go? You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Because our garage is a lot like this.
Yeah, yeah.
Every wall is full of stuff.
Right. Yeah,
and I'm like, okay, so where's that gonna go? Not prepared for the fact that was going to be the rest of the weekend long project to put these in.
Guess what you're doing this weekend?
Now all of a sudden I'm like upset.
Right.
Because
you can't leave them in the garage. Or they were in the driveway or in the garage?
They were in the garage. And I'm like, I'm upset because now I realize the rest of my weekend's fucked.
Yeah.
Because now I've got to deal with these cabinets.
Right.
And figuring out where they're going to go.
Peak sad dad.
Well, I mean, it's very cool.
Right.
They're super nice. Did I show you the picture?
No.
They're super nice. But at first I was a little upset, which I kind of realized what Shan was talking about.
So let me ask you this. When you woke up,
Yeah.
did you actually have plans for the weekend?
No, my plans were
just to relax.
To chill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, those are nice.
Yeah. Black granite. And,
yeah.
They're real nice. So what ends up happening, and the reason why these came to the house, is Ashley's dad is a construction guy.
Okay.
And near here, there's a bank over by Lone Tree.
Okay.
That's on the corner by Applebee's.
Okay.
It's not the bank anymore. It's closed. And so he's turning that bank into a mattress store.
Okay.
Yeah, because we need more of those.
They don't need cabinets.
And so there's all the stuff inside that was part of the bank, and a lot of that was cabinetry, and obviously they're going to knock down all these walls and whatnot.
Right.
So it's either they got to take the cabinets and literally just get rid of them at the dump, or, hey, we can just deliver them to your house, because it would probably be cheaper for him to bring them to our house than it would for him to take them to the dump.
Right.
So that's kind of what happened. I guess they were kind of picking and choosing stuff. And that's half of it. I think there's uppers at some point that are going to come too.
Oh.
But, so that's how they got to the house, was they delivered them on a big flatbed trailer kind of thing.
Nice. And
so,
they put all of that in your garage without you knowing.
I did not know. Yes. I didn't, because I couldn't see what they were doing over my car.
Oh, okay.
Because when you open up the doors on the side this one, I couldn't see what was going on. I was just like, what's happening? And I just kind of went back in the house. And I didn't know what they were doing. The only thing I did know was that they were delivering, Chandler has this ottoman for a piece of furniture in his room.
Mm-hmm.
And it was in Steve's garage. And so they had brought that over. And I was like, oh, okay. Like they're delivering a bunch of crap for Chandler that now I'm going to have to deal with somehow in my garage.
Right.
Not knowing that the cabinets were there.
Right.
So that turned into, okay, well, now we need to go get some food, and we're going to have to go get some things to install the cabinets, like epoxy to glue the backsplash thingy on. And then, man, that countertop is heavy. I will say that.
Right.
So we had to unload the shelving unit that was in front of my wife's car, which was stacked from floor to the bottom of our
like homeowner.
Yeah, just
stuff,
and move all that out of the way. Then get the rack out of the way, and then put these cabinets in and get them, leveled out and all that stuff. Put the counter on them, and then figure out what was going to go in them. And that turned into, well, here's a whole bunch of shit in your garage that you have to go through.
Yeah.
And now you're purging things.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like I said, I was upset knowing that this is what was going to be the rest of my weekend.
Right.
But also, like in hindsight, kind of like, this is a good thing.
Yeah.
Because my mom, when she moved to Arizona, we don't have a very good relationship at all. She just delivered a bunch of crap to my house. She just purged all of her stuff of me.
Okay.
I mean, literally pictures off the walls with frames and boxes, all of my stuff from like grade school, all my tests and all that shit. And it was one of those things where it was like, I don't want to go through all that crap. You just dropped it off at my house, and you're making me deal with stuff that you've saved for years and years.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I didn't want to go. And so I ended up having to go through a bunch of that stuff and just got rid of a ton of it because I don't need it.
It was just sitting there anyway.
Yeah. So, I mean, it turned into a good thing, and the cabinets are super nice, and I'm not going to complain about that.
What'd you do with your old ones?
Well, it was a shelving unit, like one shelving unit that was like halved because it was like you could either make it two shorter ones or one tall one.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So they were two shorter ones, and then we just reconfigured them to be one tall one, and then we had a shelving unit next to Shanna's car that was a piece of crap and needed to be replaced, so we just put that in its place. And so we have that has more shelving. It's a nicer unit than the thing that we got rid of. So yeah. So like I said, it just turned into a weekend of tons of garbage. I mean, I was like calling in neighbors, like, "Can we put stuff in your can?"
Oh yeah,
because we had so much. In fact, we had stuff left over; it couldn't fit in anybody else.
Is Monday your trash day?
Tuesday.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
so,
we're on the same day now.
Yeah. So, so yeah, and so we ended up finding a ton of really cool stuff, stuff that we won't get rid of, but a bunch of pictures and things. Of like Ted, hashtag Hey Ted. Like when we were seniors at our senior graduation party, like the alcohol-free party or whatever.
Sober grad night.
Sober grad night, yeah. And me and Ted and a couple other dudes in this picture. It was like, holy crap, I haven't seen this in forever, and then ran across like we were talking about before the show, RSVPs for our wedding.
Oh, yeah.
Which was like 94. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we ran across, and then a bunch of people in there, and a couple people that we were sad because they had passed away. And so that got posted to Facebook and prompted a bunch of, kind of things.
Yeah.
And, just a lot of stuff, man. Just tons of stuff. Things from when I was a kid, like, this is really cool. I don't need it. I really like seeing it again, but I don't need it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there's a lot of things also that I did keep still. But we got rid of a lot of stuff. So.
Yeah. Well, that happens. We don't have a lot of like memory stuff down here. A lot of it has been schlepped into a box up there. At least from my memory of where things are.
Yeah.
Venus probably has a quicker access to wherever they actually are. I think one is like she has a hope chest right over here.
Okay.
But it's buried underneath stuff. And
yeah. How long have you guys lived here?
2001, 2002-ish.
So
But she's so here's the thing with
you've
that.
Been here about 16, 17 years?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's so organized.
Uh-huh.
I think your sorting of stuff, because you had just like set it aside.
Uh-huh.
A lot of that
had happened already.
It has already, like, because it's already sorted and in a place. In order to get the experience that you had, where you're like, do I need this? Yes or no? Oh, the memories, and a story generates.
Right.
Her and I would probably just have to get into like a Rubbermaid or a Hope Chest and like intentionally want to generate a memory or a story or something to tell the kids.
Yeah.
Which on its own would probably be fun.
Uh-huh.
It certainly, like, we should do something like that with the kids, like go through like a high school. But
yeah,
part of like it would be different than if I went through here and like started sorting my tools.
Right.
Like I'd be like, I don't need this.
Uh-huh.
I don't need this. But the experience of, the kids don't give two shits about sorting tools.
Right.
Every once in a while, as far as accumulation goes, I'm sure everyone, well, not everyone, but Sad Dad certainly.
Yep.
And a nerd, I accumulate, it's back here, like a huge Rubbermaid, double Rubbermaid size of like computer components.
Oh, yeah.
Being in, like building computers from high school all the way till now, and Xboxes and consoles and controllers and keyboards and mice, I continue. It's a never-ending. Sometimes I don't even know where they come from.
But they just show up.
I might use this, or I might build another PC.
Yeah.
Or I might need another or a part for a controller.
Or that cable.
Yeah, it just goes into the box.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, I'll go through and I'm like, it is a fucking struggle.
Yeah.
Like, what if I get another thing where I need another HDMI cable?
What if I might need this VGA cable?
Yeah, I don't need RCAs anymore.
Right.
But what if I did?
Then I'd have to go buy them if I threw these away.
And these are monsters, so these probably were like $40. Just in case, I'll keep this set.
Yeah.
And then it takes you half a day to get to the box, and you realize you've set aside 2 fucking RCA monster cables.
Right.
You're like, because you forgot you set aside the first. It never ends.
Well, I mean, I go through the thing where, like, there was this happened to me. Like, I had a zip drives and jazz drives.
Oh yeah.
And I still had those up until a couple months ago. And stuff got shuffled around in my garage, and things were getting put in the attic. Well, the jazz drive tumbled out and crashed all over the ground in pieces, and I was pissed about that.
Right.
Because, I mean, I hung on to it forever, and I've got all these discs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, I don't have anything that will plug SCSI 2 in. How am I ever going to use it?
You would probably have to... Oh, yeah, okay.
You know what I mean?
Like, but you have jazz drive discs.
I have the discs. I had the drive.
Which is it like
they're one
family stuff on them?
They're 1 gig.
Just
data.
Mean,
who knows? I don't even know what's on them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I was pissed.
Corel Draw.
Yeah, I mean, who knows, man? But I mean, like modems, old modems, and it's like, these are kind of cool, but like, I'll never use it again.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or cordless phones. What am I going to do with that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I have a hard time parting with that stuff because it's like reminds me of something.
Yeah.
And then just the boxes of, I might need a fucking 30-foot long phone cable.
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
No.
I'm not going to need it.
Yeah. Yeah, at some point you just got, and I've done that. I'm like,
yeah,
I can't.
I mean, that's the next part of the garage thing that we're going to be doing. That was on Shanna's side of the garage.
Yeah.
My side of the garage has my bench, which is just, there's, like I said, a box or two of computer components.
Yeah.
There's the drawer that's part of the bench is permanently out. You can't push it back in because there's so much shit piled on there. Mm-hmm. And everybody in the house like, I don't know what this is for. And they just chuck it on the bench. So the bench is fucking useless.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
But, I could get to the vise, but to actually build something on the bench,
this is pretty clean compared to mine.
Well, I'm not going to judge.
It's piled, man. It's terrible. Yeah. And I used to use it a lot, and then just life happens, and
sat down.
You're in a hurry or whatever it is, and you just what's frustrating? The most frustrating part of how it is now is like, I know I have X, I know it's somewhere on the bench, and then digging through all the bullshit to find it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That to me is like, that's just a waste of my time.
Yeah. And that reminds me of a thing I've talked with and heard my brother Brett talk about. Both of us are real big fans of Adam Savage, and Brett will say on occasion about how Adam's thing is like, you don't, if you keep everything organized, you only really need a handful of tools, because everything will have a purpose and a function, and you know exactly where it is.
Right.
Where a lot of people start to get lost is if you're not keeping on top and organized of your tools, you'll end up with this thing where I have it. Like I'll go into like a thing, and I've got 4 different iterations of a standard screwdriver of 8 inches in length.
Yeah.
It's like, those at some point I probably bought 4 sets at 19 something bucks a pop.
Right.
And it's a mismatch, and I've got way too many fucking tools, and it's a waste of money.
Yeah.
If I could keep on top, the organization part.
Yeah, the Skeeter.
Well,
he's trying to get you. Oh, look at you!
Nailed that bitch. And what has evolved as a young man to sad dad is it went from computer components and stuff to tools. Now, at least my tools, I can see. I have like an version of the organization, but I can see most of the tools. I've done okay, but I have had to do like the house cleaning. It's like, listen, okay, I'll keep a tool set for the RV because that's mobile and I won't be here.
Right.
And I have whittled out duplicates or given them to Goodwill or given other people like toolboxes.
It's not even the tools for me, though.
Really?
It's just the shit that just gets stacked on the bench of like, I don't know where else this goes. So, I'm going to put it there because...
Oh, I'd start rolling heads.
I mean, yeah. Well, the other frustrating thing for me is like...
My space is not your trash can.
The other thing that's frustrating is like when Chandler started using tools. And then suddenly, like, you've got fucking sockets missing and shit. And you're just like, where the hell's my 10 mil? Like, everything is a 10 mil. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the one I need is the 10. Why is that one missing? And then, I mean, literally, that's the one missing, right?
Yeah.
And then Chandler and I were doing something, and he picked something up, and my 10 mil fucking rolled out of whatever it was. I'm like, what? I've been looking for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the shit that frustrates me. It's like one useful tool that you use all the time is now gone, and where the F is it? And I would have never found it. It was in a place where I would have never ever thought to look there, because it wasn't even close to the bench or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just frustrating.
Clean it, put it back where you found it.
Yeah.
It's
well, I'm not going to blame the wife and kids on my bench.
It's like a thing that even I have to pay because I'm guilty of, obviously, like I said, of going and being like, I don't have this anymore, can't find it, run to Home Depot, bought another set of, these ones are cool, these ones have kind of like a textured grip, that's amazing, and I unpack it, and 6 months, 8 months, a year later, I took it into the house to put together a piece of fucking IKEA for Xander or something, and then I come back out here, and where'd that go? I don't know. Well, I'll run to Home Depot. And, look at these ones have racing stripes.
It's your time and or your money, because either you're spending time to look for the tools that you have, or you're just going to go to the store and buy them, but that's also time too.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's frustrating, but we'll get there.
We'll get there.
I mean, our garage has been we've been trying to improve it, and we bought a cabinet over the summer for the other side of the garage, and this is kind of I don't know, just sort of a kick in the pants.
Did you finish?
More or less.
Yeah.
We finished. I mean, like I've always said, I have a garage, and as long as I have a garage, my cars will go in that garage.
Yeah.
Because that is its purpose.
Right.
All the other shit needs to be put away so the cars can be in their place.
Yeah.
So we are currently parking the cars in the garage.
Well, there you go.
You know, Chandler has brought home. Someone gave him this like air compressor that only one of the tanks works, and I'm like, that thing just needs. It's an old piece of shit, and like I'm like, that thing just needs to go in the dump. It just needs to go. Like,
yeah,
we can just buy a decent one that isn't like 45 years old and missing one of the tanks.
Yeah.
He's like, well, you just need to blah blah. I'm like, I don't need to do anything. I didn't bring it home. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd rather just go buy a new one.
Yeah.
That's just how I am.
We had, going back to the stories and whatnot, it reminded me of something that I don't know who had thought of it. We'd been talking about like grandparents and downsizing, family. And what do you do with someone that has accumulated, and they need to downsize or something? Yeah. And it was, I want to say it was with Venus's grandpa. And it was, what do you do with, a relative that had passed or something like that? And it's, they don't need the things of someone that's passed anymore.
Right.
And the grandchildren or nieces and nephews, it's not use of them, but the stories probably are. And so we had talked about doing something where you get everything down out of the attics or you get everything out of the tubs, and you spend a weekend or you spend a thing, and you go through it and you listen to this is a thing, a trophy from a thing, and you let them, and you listen to the thing, and okay. Yeah. And this one goes. We'll give it another purpose, or it goes to the bin or something. But you do it with courtesy and dignity.
Yeah.
But really, the real good part, it doesn't have a material purpose anymore.
Right.
But the story is probably worth more than it will ever be anymore, taking up space somewhere.
Yeah.
I think I've started to take that approach to a lot of stuff. It's like, you know what? If I don't have a story with this anymore, and it doesn't have a purpose for me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I need it.
Well, I struggle with like tossing stuff like wall anchors and screws and things that I've bought. Yeah. You buy it, you spend money on this stuff, and then it's like, well, I only use like 2 or 3 out of the package, and maybe there's 4 or 5 left, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Or wall anchors that you had to hang something on the wall with an anchor. So now you've got a package of anchors. It's like, I don't want to chuck these because I might need them one day, and then I'll have to go spend more money on them.
Yeah.
Because, now I'm just being cheap, right? But at the same time, like, I spent money on them. I own them.
Yeah.
I could use them
later.
And
I used to do that I found myself doing that with screws. Mm-hmm. Did you do that with screws?
Oh, yeah.
But, at some point I realized, well, I'll buy a couple boxes or like a screw and nuts and bolts
container
set.
Yeah, set.
And have a collection.
Yeah.
And I had realized when I started sorting that kind of thing into like the pullouts, I had 4 to 5 pullouts of like miscellaneous stuff. I'm like,
this is useless.
Yeah, this is useless. I got to stop doing this. I've taken up space and hoarded up mismatched stuff when I have
and invariably what's going to happen is you're going to need specifically that thing, and you're going to have half of it. You're going to have one of the screws or one of the nuts, but not both.
3, but not 4.
And you're going to need a number of something, but you're going to be missing 2 of the nuts or something.
Probably.
And you're going to have to go buy them again anyway.
Yeah.
And, I know this, right? I mean, the logical thinker in me knows this is going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, or like, you buy something that needs to be put together, and there's always little extra spare parts not extra spare parts, but like they'll have like extra nuts or something that just come with the kit.
Well, it's brand new.
It's good for. I could use it for something.
It's a 10 millimeter.
Yeah.
I could probably put this.
And then it goes on the bench
somewhere.
You know what I mean? And then like later you're like, oh yeah, I remember when And then
what you really didn't realize is that your wife saw you do that. And your son and daughter saw you do that, and that's how the whole thing started. Was
maybe
this is where I put something because I've seen Dad do it. I've seen when Dad doesn't know or has something. It might be useful later, but doesn't know where it goes. I saw Dad walk out and put it right there. I will do the same thing. Dad'll figure it out.
I mean, I need like a organized, like a pull-out bin. I have one, but it's too small.
Yeah.
But I need like a pull-out bin organizer kind of thing that I can like, okay, here's like wall hanger things, and here's some screws, and here's nails, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And put them in there, and then whatever goes there, I won't need anymore. And if I need it, I'll just go buy it, and the rest just get rid of.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I think at some point it'll be like the computer parts. I'll be like,
don't need it now.
I
haven't needed it for 7, 8, 9, 20 years.
If something comes up in the next, I'm just going to have to buy a new one because I've had this for 8 years and I don't know what this fucking nut goes to.
Exactly.
So no.
Yeah. You could polish it.
I could polish it right on the taint.
But yeah, so I mean like I said, I was a little upset at first, and I remember I even told Chandler, I said, hey, I appreciate you bringing the cabinets. I said, a little upset. Didn't know it was coming. Didn't want to spend my weekend doing that.
Yeah.
But, now that it's over, it's sort of like when you open up the garage door and you see those cabinets, like, well, that's pretty nice. Yeah.
Suave.
Yeah. It's actually kind of like, looks like it should be there.
Looks decent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to do that. That's the other thing, too. Didn't want to do it. Wouldn't have done it. Probably would have just been like that forever.
Yeah.
Had I not had my hand forced.
Sometimes they just fall in your lap.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
So that's what happened for me this weekend.
Yeah.
It's exhausting just talking about it.
When our last show, I was, like I mentioned, I was coming off, and you could still hear a little bit. Like I'm still like a little nasal finishing it off.
Yeah, stop that.
I had a 20-mile run on Saturday.
Yeah.
And I think
I remember you talking about this.
Yeah. I had, because normally I'll post my things on Twitter. I'll like, here's my thing. It helps keep me honest about hitting my training stuff.
Right.
And, it's out there and I'm sharing it and it keeps me honest. Mm-hmm. So.
Because if I don't see your post, I'm going
to. What did you
what
really?
The fuck,
what'd you do? So. Yeah, it's kind of like a passive thing. It like helps anyway. Anyway,
I got you.
So Saturday, 20 miles.
Okay.
I didn't feel bad. I was okay. I left and I was fine. I just somewhere about 10 miles into it, like my knees and feet just started hurting.
Creaky?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. I had described it to Will in one of the hangouts. It was like a ball peen hammer on an anvil. Like everything was just a straight impact. And it was uncomfortable as hell.
Yeah.
And while that's not necessarily a me being sick thing, it's just nothing felt right.
Yeah.
And I got into Sun City somewhere about 12 miles. And I had pulled the throttle way back, and I just walked for like 50 yards or so. Tried running again, and I went, oh, well, maybe just like a hitch in my get-up kind of thing. Like I was not pacing right or had my steps right. And it felt okay for like a quarter mile, and then the wheels came off again. And it was just like bang, 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 bang. I got all the way through Sun City, came out at the fountains, and it was just like I could feel I was starting to like do like I was trying to limp around like the pain.
Yeah.
And I went, I can't.
Yeah.
And I stopped. I ended up walking from Sun City all the way home.
Oh, damn.
And then I was just pissed because it was like for me, it was one of the first. It was the first.
You felt defeated.
Yeah. It was the first mileage in the training that I've been doing for 100 and something days where I had to quit. I had to stop.
Yeah.
And while I started making the, but
I think if you're in that situation where you're in pain, like,
right,
it's okay, like, to take the day
and,
off.
There's a thing. There's but there's the, hey, the dude in me wants to be like,
pride,
just fucking wuss,
to yourself.
Right, yeah. Oh my God, you're such a candy ass. That's you got, and I walk ashamed like 2 and change miles from Sun City, and I didn't end up posting it because I was like, hey, I was frustrated.
Yeah.
And I told Venus, I'm like, I'm gonna have to run with you girls tomorrow because, I want to get the 20 in. I need to get the number. I need to get the mileage.
Yeah.
And then I will happened to ask, like, hey, how'd your 20 or what's your 20 pace? And he posted this thing, and I went, nah, I gotta be, I don't, and that's how I divulged that story.
Probably because he didn't see you post it.
Maybe could have been.
Yeah.
I felt better
in
saying, hey, it's okay. I didn't get it done, and I didn't make up for it on Sunday with Venus because at that point, where I'm at mentally with my training, it's that I can't. Technically on Saturday, I ran over half a marathon. I ran 14 miles. I'm like, fuck, well,
yeah.
I still ran.
That's nothing to sneeze at.
Right. I still ran 14 miles.
Yeah. Fucking slacker.
I'm like, well, that's still not bad. And it was okay. But I can't start adding on. I'm not a young buck, right? So I can't do another 20 just for ego and pride purposes because then I might actually injure myself where I need to be, for the rest of the training. I'm like, well, I got 14 out of 20, and it is what it is.
Yeah.
And fucking Venus, I don't know if that was weighing on Venus, but Venus did all 20 of hers on Sunday.
Damn, nice.
I know. I'm like,
it had to have been something
dad.
where you just didn't, because you weren't feeling good.
Well,
whatever.
What I ended up doing, and I was on a slightly longish end of the shoes that I had, and certainly the inserts that I was wearing. I got home, showered, got some grub. It was roughly 10 o'clock. At that point, I was like, I got to get new shoes. I'm not fucking around with, now that I know from February and buying shoes and going to Fleet Feet and talking to people at Feet, I'm like, well, I've talked enough about making sure that equipment,
right,
at the age in which I'm at, I can't, and I had this talk with Will, I'm like, my youth isn't going to make up the gap in my lack of physical talent or poor equipment. I have to have good equipment and I have to train in order to get the things.
I think you just need to run barefoot.
I tried that.
You did?
Yes.
That seems like that would be really bad.
You remember the
arches.
toe shoes?
Yeah.
The Vibrams.
Okay.
They used to make the toe shoes.
Yeah.
I trained. Good God, this was.
Did they have any support in them?
No. It's the sole of your shoe, like that.
It's just a coating. It's like a rubberish,
like Tevas. Did you ever Tevas?
Uh-huh.
It's that tactile, grippy rubber on the bottom of a toe sock.
Okay,
really. I mean, it's stiff. It's not completely sock-like.
Right.
They're somewhat stiff. In fact, I thought I remember. I don't know if we talked about it on the podcast. I was training for something. And I was wearing them all the time and running.
Okay.
And I played a couple games of adult rec league basketball up in Auburn wearing the shoes. And I got looked at by the refs like, what are you doing?
Wearing those shoes?
Yeah, wearing the toe shoes in basketball.
Weird.
Because what they teach you to do is be more like on the ball of your foot.
Uh-huh.
Which helps with like the way that you absorb impact and your foot strengths. And in basketball, it keeps you like on your toes, and it made me more springy, spring-ish, like vertical leapy, and like springy. Is all I would describe it.
Probably
as.
Just quicker on your feet in general.
It's not like I ever got stepped on. My toes never got stepped on or anything, but it was definitely unorthodox.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
The guy
for basketball.
I was at like a free throw. I remember I played like a good chunk of the game. I got fouled at some point, and I'm at the free throw line, and he gives me the ball, and he looks at my shoes and he goes, "What are you doing?"
That's what he chose to say.
Yeah, and I went, "What?" Well, I think
I'm shooting a free throw, motherfucker.
They're black. They're black shoes, so
Yeah.
I'm sure no one was really paying attention until the point where all the action is stopped, and he
it
goes to give me
focus
the
on
ball,
you.
and the bounce pass to the ball, and the ball goes down to the floor, and he looks at my shoes. "What are you doing?" And I went, "I'm sorry." And he went, "What are those? What are you wearing on your feet?"
Sorry.
Yeah. I'm like, "I'm sorry. Can I shoot? What?" He's like, "Have you been wearing the what?" And I went, "Yeah, it's toe shoes."
Yeah.
And he's like, with like the heaviest eye roll, like you could just feel like the moon and tides.
He just
like,
went like this. Fucking idiot.
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. And it went away, because
That's funny. Well, you know what? When I think about those, what really freaks me out is having your toes separated by something. I don't think I could do that.
It's definitely awkward at first, but
Yeah.
you end up. It's like the whole it teaches you a different way of moving as well as far as you're running. Everything there's a pretty significant adjustment period.
I would imagine. Well, I mean, my part of it for me is
But yes, the
go to
toes
the
as well.
if you go to the beach, right?
Yeah.
And you walk around in the sand. I always end up with sand in between my toes.
Yeah.
Okay. Then when you get back to the car, I'm like hardcore trying to get the sand off, and invariably what happens is between my toes, sand gets missed. And then I'm like, oh, my feet are clean. So now I'm going to throw on my socks and I'm going to put on my shoes. And then as soon as I stand up, that grit between...
There's one there.
Huh?
Yeah, there's some left. Right?
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, shit. That's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And then I can't imagine having that between all of your toes. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like but if you really think about it, though, that's more of a natural thing because shoes sort of like press your toes together,
Yeah.
right? And that is a more natural, hold for your feet is to have your toes more separated out.
Yeah. Well,
So-
it's a balance thing.
But people aren't used to that.
That's a funny thing too because they got sued by someone
really?
because their whole thing was it was a more natural way of running and it will keep you in. I can't remember the slogan tag. Will probably #hi Will again. Will might know it.
You need to do a call a friend.
Yeah, it was essentially what it boiled. Their whole slogan was that type of shoe was better for you and healthier for you than a normal shoe.
Just
and
seems
someone
like you're
went,
not going to have enough support like in your arch and stuff.
That
would be my concern.
Yes and no, because the way that it teaches you to not be heel toe, it strengthens your arch to a degree.
Okay.
Anyway.
All right.
So they were real hot for a while. It was like a fad thing.
Yeah, I remember.
Someone sued them because it was like, I'm not healthier because I own your shoes.
I still got cancer, motherfuckers.
Yeah. Oh God, I have 10 tumors, and I bought these.
I bought
Vibrams.
these shoes, and I just figured I wouldn't get tumors.
Bullshit. God. Also, my wife left me.
And I've got high blood pressure now.
And when she was here, I was healthier.
Yeah,
I think
she was here.
I didn't have
and
prostate
I didn't have
cancer.
high blood pressure.
God damn. Also, my cholesterol. Yeah. And my tire is flat. These shoes are bullshit.
I'm suing your ass.
God, you damn right. So they had to remove their slogan. I think that was like one of those class action things. It was like, did you ever buy these shoes? Yeah, here's $3.28 for your.
Speaking of class actions,
fucking what?
I got a thing. I had bought Shanna a watch at the Fossil Outlet.
Yeah.
Is it Castaic? Like right before you go up the Grapevine where those outlets are?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I bought a Fossil watch there at the outlet. So I became part of this class action lawsuit, and I got a coupon through email the other day that was for $11 off if I go buy something at the outlet store because
the same location.
No, any of the fossil outlets.
Okay.
No, it has to be an outlet store, not the regular fossil store, just the outlet store.
What was the class action for?
It had something to do with pricing and all. I mean, I got that watch hella cheap, so I don't know why I would be mad.
The metal alloy causes cancer in the buckle or something.
No, it was
Dear
something
Shan.
about. It had something to do with pricing practices at the outlet store. Or something. But I mean, I bought that thing for 50% off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The outlet store price. So it's like, I got a screaming deal. So, I mean, you're going to send me another $11 to use? Whatever.
That's bullshit.
Anyway.
Did you see the thing that I commented of Kim? Because Kim posted it on Twitter. It was the person that was suing Burger King.
No, I didn't see that.
Okay, so someone was suing Burger King because their Impossible Whopper was cooked in the same grill space as a meat burger, and they weren't told. So
I was wondering about that.
There was meat contamination.
And
they're hurt. They're hurt by it. I think I don't know what they wanted. Maybe the cost of.
Well, that's a serious concern, really. I think at any restaurant you go to that has that kind of stuff.
So apparently they should post, or they didn't have posted, but they do offer. If you want this cooked in a non-shared space, we will do that for you. Just
takes longer.
Just tell us.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure if they're supposed to post it or if they are and they didn't have it.
How do they do that?
I think they can cook it in a. Maybe it's like
because basically what they do with their burgers is like
sizzle,
a
where they clean it.
Well, it's like a conveyor belt with flames inside, and just it's like a tiny pizza oven, but for burger patties.
Maybe they just put it on a tray.
Oh, that could be
instead.
But then it doesn't. I don't know. Oh, it could be.
It could be.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
or a screen or something.
Yeah. I mean, they could just not. They could cook it an entirely different way. Who's to say?
But then it wouldn't be flame grilled.
Well, it's just butane torch. Fucking flambe, good to go. What? It just seems so like, really?
Yeah.
To be someone that's and she pointed it out in her tweet. She's like, if you're that concerned about cross contamination, and you should be always aware. And ask.
Yeah.
Because, and she's like, because I know that, I'm the out. Well, she didn't say that, but, those.
Is she vegetarian?
She's vegan, yeah.
Oh, she is? Kim is?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That type of ask tends to be the outlier. So if you're really strict in that type of diet, oftentimes it's going to be on you to make sure that you're clear on what I'm getting. Yeah. And if they're not going to post it and they're not going to ask you, and you want to be true to whatever it is that you're following, cross-check. Just ask. Ask.
Absolutely. Well, that's funny that you mentioned that, because I'd wondered about that with Burger King, like what they're doing.
How do they do it?
Yeah.
Do they have
And I know my wife is, but now that she doesn't eat meat, she's very sensitive to any meat byproduct, whether that be grease or whatever.
Right.
It'll send her to the bathroom, kind of a thing. It'll upset her stomach.
Oh, okay. Not that she is grossed out by the act, but the proteins will cause a GI thing.
Well, yeah.
Maybe
she is grossed out by it also, but also if
she doesn't know, it's going to be the proteins that will run her through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll
she'll
turn
know.
her stomach. Yeah, exactly.
You cooked this right next to it, didn't you?
Well, I mean, even the little conveyor grill that they use. Yeah. I mean, it's going to have remnants from the previous burgers that were cooked in there. Yeah. So that's an interesting one.
Yeah.
I'll have to mention it to her. But it's good to know that they have some way of. You would think they would just do that for all of them.
You would think.
Yeah.
But then there's probably some people
don't care. I wouldn't care.
Yeah. If I was going to go test if I was going to go try it, maybe it's one of those things where you're a person that's not vegan, but you actually enjoy the taste of the Impossible Whopper.
Yeah.
You aren't really going to care. It might be a taste preference, not a dietary preference. So you'd be like, cook it. I don't care where the you cook it.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people that will eat that stuff even though they're not vegetarian or whatever. So,
I've tried a number of the vegan things.
Beyonds and Impossibles. I try them because my wife eats them, and I'm like, oh, yeah, that does taste like fucking meat. That's crazy.
I'll give it a shot. I don't really care.
In fact, she's always happy when I'm around when she orders an Impossible or a Beyond burger.
Right.
Because I'll get a regular burger, and then she can look at them and be like, is it really...
she'll have something
they look
to validate.
so close. Yeah, they look so close to meat, and the texture and the flavor and all that so close to meat. For her, it's a concern. Like, did I actually?
Are they fucking with me?
Yeah. Is this actually the right thing? And then she'll look at mine and go, "Okay, no, you can tell the difference."
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever. I mean, in places like I'm trying to think of like a taco place or a Mexican restaurant place. Do you think they actually separate off a specific part of the grill?
So Del Taco,
or like
not that they're a great taco place, but Del Taco actually has Beyond Tacos, which is the Beyond meat
version.
So I would assume that they are not. I mean, they're going to have a bin for the Beyond and a bin
they're probably in like a hot tub that's all on its own.
Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, how other places handle that stuff, I have no idea. But I would imagine, just in my own mind, that most places are probably a little bit sensitive to that, or they would take that in consideration when they're...
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a good question. She bought... we made turkey burgers this week. Came out really good. But she had found... some kind of, I forget what company made it. It wasn't Beyond or Impossible, but it was basically, it looked like a little half-pound ground beef, but it was a plant-based ground beef looking thing.
Yeah.
And you could totally tell because we put it on the grill and that shit just fell apart on the grill. You know, like the turkey patty, like they're nice and firm and you know, that stuff just crumbled like crazy. It was hard to deal with, and until we put cheese on it while it was on the grill, because she'll eat cheese. Yeah. Until we put cheese on it, it was like falling apart. We had a hard time with it on the grill. Yeah. But I don't know how that. And they're supposed to have Impossible, ground beef that you can buy, like a ground beef.
Make your own.
Yeah, and do whatever you want with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to see something like Sloppy Joe's or something.
Yeah. She made last night she made a vegetarian chili. It was really good.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be a white chili, but it turned out the color was kind of funny. It wasn't dark like a normal chili. It was sort of it almost looked like stroganoff.
Okay.
You know, kind of color.
Yeah.
Kind of like that. But man, it was delicious. Really good.
Yeah.
She made it for a thing at work, and she only made a small crock pot of it and took it to work, and she had saved some of it in case she didn't get back. But by the time she did get back, it was all gone. Everybody ate it. She's like, I only made this much because I figured no one was going to eat vegetarian chili, but the whole thing was gone.
Everyone ate it.
Everyone ate it.
Hashtag hi, Shan.
I'm like, because you made it was delicious when you were making it. I was trying it. It was good.
Yeah.
You know?
That's why you only ended up with so much, because I was eating it as
I just kept putting hot dogs in there.
I was eating it as I made it.
I was making chili wieners.
Did we cover that you've seen Mandalorian?
We have not talked about that. That was really I don't. Was there only one show?
There was two.
Oh, okay. I only saw the first one.
And because there were first the 2 week, we didn't know that because I thought there was only one because there was one the day that Disney Plus released, and then Friday they released the second episode.
Oh, I think there was only one when I saw it because I watched it last week. I watched it on.
Did you?
Wednesday or Thursday or something.
Yeah, then it wasn't released because the next one
dropped already
on Friday.
Okay,
which we didn't know. So because we went looking last night, I went when are the next episodes? Because We'll watch them nightly.
Yeah.
Kids loved it. The first one. Kids loved the first one. Venus. Everyone loved it. I'm not quite sure if we're allowed to talk about spoilers. Are we?
Well, I haven't seen
out?
number 2. Have you? Far enough out of what? Oh, the first show?
First show. We're a week out.
Well, I don't know. People are at their own
Okay,
pace.
we give it another week then.
Okay.
But right. I got still Star Wars stuff.
Okay.
So if you're not a Disney Plus fan,
but
you're a fan of
Star Wars,
yeah, or even Firefly, or
which I don't know anything about that.
The Mandalorian is very much space western-y in how it's scripted and audio produced. The tracks, I don't know if you caught that, but the backtracks, very spaghetti western-y.
I hadn't noticed. Now I have to pay attention to that. Okay.
And there's a lot of it reminded me very much of like Star Wars and Firefly.
I don't know Firefly.
Joss Whedon, Buffy, Angel, Serenity.
No, I don't know it.
It's a good show, but it's sci-fi, so maybe that's not
on Netflix or anything.
It might be.
All right, I'll try and look it up.
I own the discs. Anyway,
okay.
Great writing.
All right. Yes.
The costuming is really good.
Yep. It's on par with a film as far as I'm concerned.
Yes. And the photography, filmography, all awesome.
Yeah.
Top notch. Really impressed.
Yeah, even like the special effects and stuff. It's good.
It's well produced.
Yeah.
Well produced.
Yeah.
Which makes me it's very encouraging knowing that they've got all these other Marvel ones on deck.
Yeah.
So if they're putting this amount of production into this, I'm excited for their other one-offs.
Well, think about this.
For Marvel.
The Mandalorian, the production value, in my opinion, and the special effects and stuff look good enough to the point to where I would say it rivals the New Hope. Right.
I mean, it was like if you've watched Game of Thrones, like production value of like the dragons and the fire and the set pieces and the costuming.
Yeah.
It is HBO Game of Thrones caliber in a Star Wars saga series.
Yeah.
Everyone loved it.
Yeah.
So I won't talk about that.
I should ask my wife if she wants to watch it because I just kind of watched it at work.
Did you?
Well, I watched it. Yeah, I just watched it at work one day at lunch.
I mean, it's still, even if you're not a Star Wars, to me, even if you're not a Star Wars fan, I think the story and the way it was told is being told was still, you don't have to be a Star Wars fan. I think everything else was so good and such high quality that it's still made for good intake.
What it shares with Star Wars is basically like stormtroopers and the technology stuff.
It takes place, I can't remember, 5 to 10 years-ish after Return of the Jedi. So this is after, I don't care about spoilers for Star Wars. So Luke has, Vader is dead. Vader threw the Emperor down the thing. The Death Star's gone. The Resistance won the whole shebang.
Yeah.
And it's not yet, it's like 20 to 30 years before Force Awakens, Rey, and the new set of 3. So it's in that dead space where there's
nothing going on.
Tons of story to tell.
Yeah.
And this is where he fits in. That's where this takes place.
Okay.
So last week...
how do you know this stuff? Because
I have been... There's like a Star Wars binge thing. So... because this all ties in with the kids.
That's what I'm curious. Like, how do you know what the timeline is on these shows? Like,
I looked it up because
okay.
it's where does this fit in?
Okay,
because I can't say. Okay. All right. So last week also they came out with a new Star Wars game.
Video game.
Yeah, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, and it takes place after the Revenge of the Sith. So it takes place in between what would be in the Star Wars series 3 and 4. So it takes place after Anakin becomes Vader. The Order 66 has been given. So that is the stormtroopers turn on all and kill all the Jedis and the Padawans.
Okay.
But before A New Hope. So it's in that dead space again.
All right.
And you're playing a Padawan that has lost his master and is becoming a Jedi while trying to hide from everyone hunting the rest of the Jedis that have lived. So I'm playing it on the Xbox, and it is one of those games where Xander sits I play it, but he's intaking it like a story because it's played like a not a first-person shooter. It's played like a role-playing game.
Okay.
So you're getting stories and inputs and little booklets about things.
Sort of showy, movie-ish.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's telling a story over the course of you playing the game.
Right.
Absolutely amazing game. I don't know if you've ever played those types of games, but
I'm not much of a gamer.
It is an amazing, and they have released.
I played Bejeweled a couple times.
Yeah, this is way better than Bejeweled, I assure you. They've released a couple of these games years and years back. This is one of those games where, because it ties into the Star Wars lore and the universe, and it has a slot, and it's actually part of the greater story. It plays on like all the heartstrings of like, I know all these characters, and they can drop little like Easter eggs where you're like, I get that, and they're hidden all over the place. So it's like, it's a perfect way for a sad dad to enjoy his part of the Star Wars universe, and I've got Xander over my shoulder, like he's getting the new part of the story, and it's like a handhold, toehold into getting the story in general.
Yeah.
And I get yelled at. I can't play it
without him
because
he doesn't want to.
He wants to know what happens. Yeah. Now I may have intentionally done that.
Intentionally,
because I couldn't put it down. It's a really engaging story. But I get to a point, and then I have to stop. He has to go to bed or something. He's got homework or something. But I only play it.
Damn it, boy.
I know. I'm like, I really need to know what happens. Do I got to kill that chick?
Yeah.
So I have to gate when I get to play because he's excited to see the story.
All right.
As much as I am.
Now, speaking of, we're on Star Wars still. Have you seen the new commercial for the new Rise of the Resistance ride at Galaxy's Edge?
No.
You got to see it, dude. It looks insanely good.
Okay. Is it that ride that's on the Resistance side?
The one that's kind of out of the way?
Yeah, it's down the path of Galaxy's Edge. That's where it goes.
Yes.
Okay.
It's that ride.
Okay.
After the show, we'll pull up the commercial.
Okay.
Because it is, I can't wait.
That goes live. I think I saw the date. It was January
18th or something, something 18th, like that.
Yeah,
13th,
middle
18th?
of January.
Yeah, and we're all, really? That's right around.
I
the
won't
time?
be making it back there.
Well, we were like, that's right around the time Melanie goes back to school from winter break.
Fuck you. Just make sure you get a churro. Buzz Lightyear Caliente.
That's my. I don't do enough of that.
Do you have a season pass?
No, just Melanie.
Melanie does.
Yeah.
So do you get a day pass park hopper with a discount from her season pass?
They run specials at times. So if season pass holders can buy up to 2 passes.
Yeah.
So I think when we went last time, Ian was with us, and he has a season pass also. That's Millie's boyfriend. And so he bought 2 passes, and she bought 2 passes, and that covered everybody.
Yeah.
I think was it 2 or maybe 3?
So is it slightly less than our normal?
Yeah, it was like $99 a day for a park hopper, which is cheaper.
So as long as you have one person with a season pass, That's
well, they
kind of
don't
the way
do that all the time.
Oh.
That's a special they run at whatever times for whatever reason.
So they have to preemptively get.
No, you have to. That's the negative is you have to go and buy them there with your season pass.
How do you know
holder.
when there's a special?
Oh, the season pass holders will get email or mails or whatever.
So have you ever been down there and it wasn't a special day or special pricing day?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
it happens.
It does.
You're not always getting
Not always
savings.
No,
I gotcha.
No, we always see if we can find some sort of thing, but there a lot of times there's not.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, but I'll show you that.
Watch the trailer.
It looks good.
We're at time, so we can call it, and then I can watch the trailer.
All right. Well, now I'm excited for the show to be done, so I can show it to you because I can't wait to ride this fucking thing. Yeah. All right.
Really? Does it have a Rancor?
It looks super cool.
Do you know what a Rancor is?
I don't even know what that is.
Oh my god! Oh, and in the game they talk about having the Bloody Mary Rancor that's in the cantina.
Oh, really?
And I'm like, I know what that is because I was
I
in
was
the
there.
cantina,
Oh, that's
and I know the menu has it. So they baked in stuff from Galaxy's Edge into the game. I mean, the amount of integration.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh man, I know what that is. It's the Bloody Rancor because they actually have one.
That's
now I have
wacky
to go back and I have to get one.
That's crazy that they have that in there, but
Yeah, the tie-ins.
yeah. All right.
Anyway,
All right. Well, let's
wrap it up.
so I can show. All right.
Thank you for listening. We'll
Thanks
catch
for
you next week.
See you later, guys.
Later.